depending on where that's why I said you gotta look at certain sections. Like if you're talking about that lower bowl, same price we paid last year for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't paying that, but matter of fact, I send you where I looked at. And then honestly, for real, based on how cheap we got those SmackDown tickets, I say we don't get tickets until like, if we really gonna go, like 2 weeks before. Cause if you go on SeatGeek, people gonna be trying to sell tickets and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I think we'll get them cheaper close to the time of the event. Suplex was right when he came out with that video and said that. He came out with a video a long time ago and said, like, anytime you're looking for tickets to WWE event like SummerSlam, WrestleMania, always wait till like a week or two before.
Because we got our SummerSlam the day of or the day before or something.
SummerSlam we got during the pre-sale.
The SmackDown.
SmackDown, we got like literally like the day before, and I only paid $100 for each ticket, and we was on the floor. So you know what I'm saying? Yeah, the SmackDown before SummerSlam.
It was all time. At worst case, if we can't get on tickets, we just go somewhere and watch it somewhere.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Because we could just hop in the car if we're going. But yeah, to all my people that still watch wrestling, might meet us in August at SummerSlam. This is episode 35 of Yes, We Still Watch Wrestling. I'm Steve Dent. Shaq is here. Chili is here. We got some things we need to discuss. We're gonna mix it up just a little bit. But in the meantime, right? We almost done with SummerSlam. Backlash is this Saturday at 7:00 Eastern time. One more topic though, in regards to WrestleMania, how we're gonna open up the podcast tonight that we haven't talked about. It's one thing we didn't mention, nothing crazy, but normally we talk about every WrestleMania. We talk about entrances, man. Who had the best entrance and stuff like that. We didn't really talk about that this year. So this is how we're gonna open it up, man. We're gonna run through the gauntlet. It's a short gauntlet, but we're gonna run through the gauntlet. We're going to see what y'all really thought was the best entrance of the night as far as WrestleMania is concerned, all right? All right. So we're going to go with the men first, all right? And then we'll compare the two, okay? So Logan Paul or LA Knight, who had the better entrance? Yeah, no, we just the entrance, just the entrance. Logan Paul, if y'all need a refresher, Logan Paul came out with the not a monster truck. He came out, I think Logan Paul came out in like a Lamborghini or something like that. And
no, he had the weird truck,
sorry.
no? And LA Knight had the Maserati or whatever.
And LA Knight had the Maserati. Right? No, Logan Paul came out with the drone, my bad. He had the drone in his hand.
Oh, yeah.
And then when he was walking to the ring, you had the 9 different camera angles, and then the drone came back to him when he came to the ring.
Logan. Yeah.
I'm with y'all, Logan. Okay. All right, Logan Paul or Jacob Fatu?
Jacob Fatu off Aura. But first one, more creative. LA Knights is like, you done seen that people come out in a cool car.
Yeah. Aura for Jacob was dope, but Logan Paul still had the better entrance.
Yeah, I'm going Logan Paul.
I'm going Jacob though off Aura though. That's my thing.
Jacobs was tough. I'm gonna go with Logan. I think Logan's was pretty tough. That's the one that y'all picked versus Seth Rollins' entrance. Where y'all going with?
Jacob Fatu's. They just came out with a flamethrower. It was like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Logan.
Okay. All right. I'm going Logan too, even though the outfit change was dope. But I'm going with Logan. All right. Logan for me, you Shaq. Jacob for you, Willie, or Jey Uso's entrance?
I'm gonna go Jacob's. Wasn't nothing too truly spectacular about Jay's for real. Just coming through the crowd.
Yeah, Logan.
Same old. We didn't see that televised shows.
Just a longer walk.
Nah. I'm not gonna let y'all get.
Had the church flag girls out there.
Nah, I mean, like, nah, they had to. I was watching a little bit yesterday with Hendrix. Energy for Jay Joint, and granted he did open, but the energy for Jay Joint was off the chain. I'm going with Jay.
We won't count the energy because if that was the case, I would have picked Jacob.
Nah, I just said he said nothing to dealing with the matches, just the entrances.
Not interested. The aura of Jacobs was better. I would have picked Jacobs if that was the case. What's somebody's trait?
That's why I kept saying aura, the
Yeah,
aura.
That's what he.
But when I was talking about matches, I thought he was doing like LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu as far as entrance, like
I mean,
that. But he's just saying wrestlers, like I mean,
yeah. If you want to go with Jacob, you can. Off the energy,
I'm picking Logan.
I'm going with Jay. All right. So next, Cody Rhodes entrance. So who we pick versus Cody. So for me, it'll be Jay versus Cody. I'm going with Jay.
Jacob for me still.
Yeah, he had the mask.
There were better entrances. I just ain't hear them yet.
Yeah, you didn't say the one I want. Yeah. Pause. I'm gonna stick with Logan.
Okay. All right. Who y'all pick versus? Did I say Cody already?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did. Versus Roman. Roman's entrance.
Or from Romans. Roman had all the family
Roman
behind him.
Roman joint was tough.
Down, like that aura right there with the whole bloodline.
He did the slow walk this time. Like, yeah, I'm going Roman. Yeah, no, he did the slow walk this time.
What you mean this time?
No, nah, on the apron, then he go. Everything else takes time, but he normally do like a little normal walk to the ring, but he walked slowly this time, just so you could see like the family and everything behind him. So I'm going with. All right, we all got Roman. All right, and then last but not least for the men, Roman versus Punk. Roman. Only reason why I'm not going with Punk, even though I called it while we was there, I say it's going to be a remix of WrestleMania 29. But that's the only reason why is because it's the same interest in WrestleMania 29. I get it for throwback purposes with Paul Heyman being by his side again, but we seen that exact same interest before. You know what I'm saying? So, but even though it was fire, though, it was fire. All right, for the women, there's only a few women that I had up here, and we're gonna go with the two that went against each other, Charlotte and Tiffany.
Tiffany.
I'm going Tiffany too. All right, Tiffany and Naomi. Tiffany and Bianca.
I'm going Tiffany, but I want to give it to Bianca off the strength she just had all the black girls out there holding it down with her.
That's why I'm going to give it to her, Bianca.
But Tiffany's is more creative.
Tiffany, I got to go Tiff, man.
Bianca though came out with the whole crew a couple times in that Mania.
And then she had her stepdaughter out there with her.
That's what I'm saying. I want to give it off the sentimental. You know what I mean? But looking back, Bianca has come out with a whole crew of black girls. It's always dope.
It's always dope.
5 points on creativity. It was just the other time they were just dancing. This time was them doing double dutch.
For everybody.
Yeah, I know, right?
But Tiffany's joint was dope though. Tiffany's joint was dope with the Barbie dolls and the AI graphic and everything. I'm still go Tiffany, even though I love the Bianca joint. And then Tiffany and Rhea, I'm still going Tiff. Y'all got Tiff or Rhea? Rhea came out with the laughing Batman mask. I'm going Tiff, and then lastly, Tiff and Bianca versus Roman or CM Punk entrance. Who y'all got? Roman. I'm going Roman. All right, so me and Willie think Roman had the best entrance. I think Punk had the best entrance. With that being said, it won't. I think the reason why we didn't talk about it was because nobody had like a legendary entrance that we're gonna remember for a long time. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of
Alice Black's WrestleMania moments coming next year. No worries. Alice Black's Mania moments coming next year.
I was actually a little disappointed with Cody joint, even though the mask he had on was fire. The way that joint, the mask was fire. But other than that, like I was a little disappointed with his joint. But especially with him being the champion and all. But yeah, it is what it is, man. All right, well, let's get into one of the topics. First, over the weekend, big news out of WWE. It was a list of people that was released.
Taste the boot.
Anytime there's releases from WWE, like more than like we don't see it coming. Like it just come out of thin air. Like we just get a news alert about it. It's no warning, no nothing, right? So in regards to WWE releases, obviously it was a bunch of names up there. I want to say like 16 people got the boot. Was it anybody up there that y'all wish wasn't released? Was it anybody up there that surprised y'all? Like what stood out to y'all about the people that were released from WWE?
Cora Jade's the biggest surprise for me. Again, just based off her history in NXT, injuries, coming back, trying to put her over. Again, everyone else from the main roster were older in age or wasn't being pushed or had really quality stories. You know, biggest tragedy for me is Shayna Baszler.
Shayna.
You know, again, I didn't know she was that age. I'm not gonna say I don't know she was that old because she's still in her prime wrestling years. But it's unfortunate for her. I pray she goes over to New Japan, goes overseas, and fucking runs amok over there.
Turn her into a monster over
Yeah,
there.
I
My
think that's
God.
where she will be best served.
I agree.
Her in the WWE product, especially right now with what they're pitting out from a women's standpoint, she doesn't fit it, unfortunately, from my opinion. But yeah, again, biggest shocks, Cora Jade from a young up and comer standpoint, and Shayna Baszler kind of like saddest kind of situation. I will
Shaq,
say this: it does say with Cora Jade from the younger population, Cora Jade and Gigi Dolan getting booted. It does say a whole lot about their current young roster as is. That those two ended up getting kicked out, and they have quite a quality of a quality roster in the background that's just waiting to learn and
I
grow.
I agree 100%. Shaq, where you at with it?
Yeah, I'm with Willie. Shayna. I think we all agree Shayna is one of the biggest fumbles for the call ups from NXT to the main roster of all time. Shayna and Shinsuke are my like 1A and 1B. Always. Like, the only other surprise he wasn't being used is like what Braun. Like, and the man's fight, call the man back, say come on back, and then still don't do nothing with him. Like, damn, like sometimes I feel like the people they want these people back for nostalgia purposes, but don't have a plan for him. Like, I'm just gonna sign him so he can't go nowhere else. What's the point of bringing him back and then don't do nothing with him? But I don't see a future for him, like a big bright future for him anywhere else. I believe he was doing like strongman stuff when he got released the first time. Like he was doing arm wrestling, I think it was. So maybe there's a future in that. Maybe movies, something like I don't know. But for me, it's always Shayna. Like that's a big fumble. Like Willie said, I hope she goes to New Japan and run amok over there and go crazy.
For me, man, I wasn't sad with Shayna. I was happy because I said this like real early on in our recording days. Like, see, it got to a point where they didn't know what to do with her, and she wasn't like some people. Like, matter of fact, Cora Jade. I remember Bianca talking about this on her show, as far as like her being so afraid to step away because she might lose her spot. And I think with Cora Jade, I think she's a victim of injuries and coming back and just not being as over because the people are not as invested in them anymore. And because it was a lot of she came back, people were behind her, she got hurt, and then came back again. She got hurt again. And we're not talking about like just minor injuries. We talking about injuries that put her out for a year and some change. And it's only so much investment people are gonna do before they see that you around here for the long haul. Kind of like when Finn kept getting hurt and then he came back and it took a while for people to get behind the Finn again. That's why they put him in NXT and let him have his run at NXT to kind of build him back up. I think Cora's a victim of that. I think with Shayna, I was happy because I do think right now at this point in her career, I don't want her to go to AEW because I think AEW, and maybe with Mariah May about to leave, and maybe Britt Baker leaving, maybe there is an opening for her. But I think she would serve way better with New Japan Wrestling with her style, her toughness. I'll throw this idea at y'all. Y'all can say I'm wilding or whatever if you want. I just something I randomly thought about. What if she became the new leader of the Bullet Club?
I don't think they're that progressive over there.
Yeah, that's the other side of it. Cool.
I don't think
Yeah,
they're that
that's the other
progressive.
side. But nah, I think she can go over there, do work for a couple of years, man, and then come back if she wants to. I think her career, she is far from over, man. It's just a sad situation in regards to like. Also, is one thing Willie talk about a lot with Shayna, and is you could have made her this monster, all you want, right? But one of Willie three things, if I'm not mistaken, is you got to have the look, and Shayna just don't have the look. You know what I'm saying? So she was never going to be like, unfortunately, she was never going to be like a real champion WWE. And I think she can go make herself a star and give them no other choice but to make her a big deal when she comes back. So I actually was happy for her, man, instead of just wasting her talent. She can go on and do everything else. I'm not sure if the night. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead, go ahead. No, unless you
Nah, I
finish
was
that.
gonna. Nah, I was just gonna say I don't know if the 90-day compete clause. I don't know if that happens with them when they're released or whatnot. I don't know how that works. Yeah, but hopefully she can go somewhere instead of wasting her talent. And then with Braun, I actually disagree with you a little bit, Shaq. I think they did what they could do with him. And with Braun Strowman, his job is to put people over. He's not gonna be champion. You know what I'm saying? He will be a champion in Vince McMahon era, not in the Triple H era. So his job is to put people over. Is just if the sad part about Braun is not that they didn't use him, is the fact that he did what was expected of him to a higher level than people expected, and he still got released. Like he put Bronson Reed and Jacob Fatu over in major ways. Major ways, man. It wasn't just Bronson Reed stuff with Seth, it was with Braun too. So he did what he was supposed to do at a high level, you know what I'm saying, still was a draw and still got released. That's the part that's sad. I think they used him, but I guess it's only so many times you can put people over. So, and then one name that y'all didn't mention, the person I was sad to see go was Jakar, because I knew there was a future for Last Legend, but I thought Jakar and Last Legend, like, because they're natural women's tag team champs, you could build them up and put the straps on them and make it relevant. Like Willie, that's what Willie's whole rant was about. Do something with your women's tag team division, and you got a natural women's tag team right in front of your face, and you let one of them go. You know what I'm saying? That's what was sad to me. You know what I mean? Maybe they got big plans for Last Legend. We don't know. But I thought they was gonna eventually get those women's tag team titles and kind of build that up, and I guess not. So
Well, one other person we didn't comment on, Jakara Jackson. Unfortunately, she got cut too. I'm curious. I think, in regards to her, I do see, and it's wrong to say it this way, but just like her and B Fab are like one and the same almost.
that's true.
But I digress from that. Dakota Kai, hate to see her go. Also, we didn't
Yeah,
say anything
yeah,
about her. Uh, she's another person who I think, as a result of being a victim of injury, she could never really get fully
yeah.
to her peak in WWE. So again, it sucks to see her go. I'm interested to see where she goes from a name recognition standpoint. People like her, Shayna Baszler, and Cora Jade, and Gigi Dolan. I am curious where they go. I think they are for the bigger names from the women's side.
Yeah.
Obviously, you got Braun. Not sure what he does next. I think he's hurt right now anyway, from what I heard. But I am curious about all that. So we'll see.
Yeah. Dakota, I think she actually would do well in AEW. I think she should go to AEW. It's a
I think
spot.
she'll get called back to WWE.
You think so? Mm. We'll see, man. We'll see. I think she'll do well, man. AEW, man. I think there's a spot open for her. She can wrestle. There's no doubt about it. And she can talk. She can talk. Like, I think that's one of the biggest reasons why they kept her around was because pause, but Damage Control needed a mouthpiece, you know what I'm saying? They needed somebody that could talk like almost like a manager style. And Dakota was doing that while still wrestling. Um it's surprised maybe Damage Control about to come to an end. Uh we'll see. You know what I'm saying? We don't know when Kyrie Sane getting cleared. There's reports that Oscar is going to return either at Backlash or after Backlash. So we don't know if she's going straight after EO. I would love for that to happen. I ain't gonna lie. We need, if EO's gonna be champ, we need an Oscar versus EO rivalry. We need that.
Should main event something.
We need that. We need that. We need that. Which is going to. I'm glad you just said what you just said, because that's a great segue into the next topic.
I'm kind of good at this podcast thing.
In regards to Toni Storm, when I sent the agenda out earlier,
It is timeless Toni Storm.
timeless Toni Storm. When I sent this agenda out earlier, you asked me what exactly would we discuss about Toni Storm.
Mhm.
In regards to Toni Storm, I seen a comment. I was watching her promo again from a Collision. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Toni Storm, once again, legendary promo. But the comment that piqued my interest, somebody tweeted and said, at this point, why is she not the main event of every pay-per-view? And I remember, and of course, Triple H has nothing to do with AEW, but I remember us having a conversation about should the women triple threat match be the main event of WrestleMania? And Triple H heard that critique, and he came out and blatantly said, "Hey, I have no problem making women the main event, but they have to earn it, right?" Which goes back to Toni Storm. Toni Storm my guy. If I remember your IG name, I definitely will shout you out. Hopefully, I can go back to the comment and at least if we post this video, give you credit because that was a hell of a comment. But to his credit, Toni Storm has low key earned the right to be the featured attraction of AEW. So my question to y'all is: does that fan have a point? Should Toni Storm be locked in at this point as the main event of every show? And if go ahead and give details as to why and that sort of thing. Willie, I see you shaking your head, so you go ahead, bro.
My answer is no. Although she is deserving of it, and here I'm going to tell you why. If you look back to the start of AEW, when they used to talk about the 4 pillars a lot more often than you barely hear them even mention them damn words nowadays. And they used to talk about how Britt Baker used to be potentially one of those pillars. When she was on the front end of the company, pitting on banger after banger at the forefront of the women's wrestling division, she was not main eventing any pay-per-views for them. She was top dog at the time and having great matches with Thunder Rosa, all them. I look at it the same way. Albeit the stories that Toni Storm is putting on is a lot better. I feel the same fan reaction and fan support that Toni Storm is having now, Britt Baker was having to an equivalent level, in my opinion. So if they weren't doing it then, I don't see why they were going to do it now. Not to say she isn't deserving, because I do think she is deserving of it. However, she's over. But I'll ask the question, have we seen female wrestlers more over than this before?
Yeah. I mean, you talking about in the entire company or just AEW? Like, I mean, the entire industry or AEW?
In general, in the entire industry.
Oh yeah, I mean, Becky, when she became the man, when she first turned heel, she became the man. That's one of the most over female stars in the history of the entire business. I would go NXT Bailey. If anybody questioned that, once again, I say this all the time, go back to 2 videos, go back to the time she debuted in her first match at Battleground when she was revealed as Sasha Banks' mystery partner, and go back to when she debuted on Raw and Mick Foley introduced her, and hear how loud those ovations was for Bailey. And then I would put Toni Storm. I think she's top 3. I don't know what order I would put those 3, and no, about for the record, she could be one. It could be one, but when I think about what you just said, I immediately think about those 3.
The other thing is, man, she ain't got no merch show like that. She ain't not say she's selling merch. I'm pretty sure. Again, like all this stuff matters. Who you putting in your main event picture? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, why are you wanting someone that ain't selling the product along with it? They got everything else. Don't get me wrong. Pretty sure she has some decent merch, but I'm going to go on the hunch and say it's selling, but probably not to the levels of what you would expect a main eventer to probably be selling. This is me just talking business, not like taking the emotional side out of it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Like, is she one of the best in the business? Yes. Does she put on great matches? Yes. Best character in the business at the moment? Yes. Great promos? Yes. But she has one thing working against her, unfortunately.
What's that?
She's a woman. Like, and
Yeah.
it's fucked up to say, right?
Yeah,
Really
right.
is. But we are in the business of a male dominated business, right? Once in a while to sprinkle it in, it's fine. Like me, I wouldn't care because it's like the best matches should go on last. The person that's putting on should go on last. The masses would have uprising and they would have something to say about that. So it's sort of like you gotta kind of feed the male ego and do what you have to do. Like they'll get a little sprinkle here and there. Okay, to Tony Storm. I do feel as though Tony Storm and Mercedes Moné is warranted of last match of main event. It looks like they're going down that road. It should happen. Will it? Probably not. It probably going right before the main. But it's sort of like, yeah, you got a Maserati, but you don't drive that shit every day. You only bring that out on special occasions, certain every once in a while.
So let me pose this then. So if you were saying the main event at what's the next pay-per-view?
Double or
Is it
Nothing.
All In? Double or Nothing?
Right?
But Double or Nothing, this already on the card for Jamie Hayter versus Mercedes Moné in the Owen Hart tournament final.
Finals. Okay.
Yeah.
So the assumption then is the big show is going to be All In Texas, right?
Yep. July.
So
I want to say that's July.
so the assumption is Mercedes Moné is going to beat Jamie Hayter here, like, you know,
I believe that as well.
and then they go and fight at All In Texas. So then you're having Mercedes Moné and first Toni Storm at All In Texas for the world title, and was it Hangman or Ospreay versus Moxley at All In Texas? I would assume.
Yeah, the winner of Hangman versus Ospreay gonna fight Moxley. Yeah.
So then the question is, who you playing this out? Who wins between who's going to fight Moxley at All In, and then which one of those matches is more worthy of being the main event? And I will say, if you're going to pick if Ospreay is going to win that Owen Hart Cup, there's no way in hell you have him not main eventing. I say that respectfully, even though I love Toni Storm to death, because I don't see Will Ospreay losing. He's going to win the title. If he is, it's going to be as the main event to cap off the night, not Toni Storm retaining or Mercedes Moné title win.
You said you had Mox winning.
No.
Okay.
In the scenario that is Ospreay versus Moxley, that's going to main event over Mercedes versus Toni, because you don't cap the night off with Toni Storm retaining or Mercedes winning as a heel. You cap it off with a face winning, I think, in this instance. Based on all the story they've been doing, unless they're really going to Vince McMahon this shit and just ruin everyone's night and give it to Moxley again.
They've been doing that.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's been the story like for the last 6 months, and people are going ape shit over it.
Darby could be done on that mountain by then.
Yeah, he's on it now. Yeah,
He's
but
there now, so
is that, or they're really waiting that long?
I think so. That's what it feels like, for real. That's what it
But then
feels
how
like.
do you have Darby skip over the Owen Hart Cup winner to fight out All In?
He's a pillar. He could do that.
Yeah, because I don't. Honestly, my prediction is that Hangman loses. I mean, not Hangman. I'm sorry, Hangman. I'm sorry. I have
Ospreay
Hangman winning.
loses?
I have
Okay.
Ospreay losing. Ospreay losing. That's how you protect that. I do agree with Shaq. I think they're gonna put the belt on Darby when he get off that mountain. And you can't, if you're gonna put the belt on Darby, because I don't see a Ospreay Darby rivalry. The one that makes sense is him taking the belt off of Moxley, even though we don't like the story. At least have a conclusion to that story. So I have Hangman winning, and then Hangman loses to Moxley at All In. And then whatever, I think the next big pay-per-view.
Darby, the hometown hero, the AEW hometown.
Yeah, All Out. Darby can win that All Out or Wrestle Dream. You know what I'm saying? He can win at one of those. Now to y'all point, now with everything I just said, if I'm right, if Hangman wins this match, the pay-per-view main event should absolutely be Toni Storm versus Mercedes Moné versus, you know what I'm saying, Moxley versus Hangman. If I'm
that
wrong,
makes the fuck you to the fans that much more important, though, to have Mox, Hangman, end the night, to keep that fucking misery going. You know what I mean?
Crazy, dog. That's
Because you don't end the night. You don't have that start the night or be like, the hump day part of the night. I guess the middle match. It's got to end it. Like, that's what.
So y'all, is this so? Cause Shaq's right. It's messed up, man. That's the one thing. It's cause she's a woman, because she's the highest draw in the company right now. You know what I'm saying? Like she's the most consistent person in the company right now. And that match, to me, is better than both matches we've been talking about. Whether it's Moxley versus Ospreay or whether it's Moxley versus Hangman, Mercedes Moné versus Toni Storm is going to be the better match. You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to bet money on that. It's going to be the better match. Business wise, understood. Like if Ospreay does win the Owen Hart tournament, because it is Will Ospreay, business wise, he has to main event. I get that. You know what I'm saying? 100%. But it's just messed up, because what else do you have to do? You know what I'm saying, to like earn that spotlight? You know what I mean? Like she's more than deserving. And if you're not, now I get your premise in regards to Britt Baker, because Britt Baker might feel away. You know what I'm saying? But if not now, when? If not now, I don't think it'll ever happen. You know what I'm saying? I can't see a scenario where it ever happened. To y'all credit right now, she's the best character in all of wrestling. You know what I'm saying? I didn't agree with her when Roman Reigns was like actively wrestling or whatever, but now that he's taking a break and now that that bloodline story is pretty much over at this point, she's without a doubt the most best character in wrestling. So it's tough, man. Y'all both make good points. I agree with most of what y'all said, but my only thing is if not now, when? You know what I mean? But hey, they creating buzz with the whole Moxley thing. People don't like it, but people are tuning in. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like during the Vince McMahon days. Y'all don't like the man booking, but we constantly, you know what I'm saying? We constantly watching. So it is what it is, man. We're gonna see how this unfolds and see where they go from there. Sticking with the topic of women for one more time, real quick. Actually, I got one more topic about women, but I'll say that later. News came out today that WWE is interested in bringing Ronda Rousey back.
You say something? You say something, bro? Yeah, you say something?
Man, yeah, unfortunately I did. Look, man, this is, because if we ever had a chance to interview Ronda Rousey, you're absolutely right, we would do it. So this is not a shot to Ronda Rousey, right? But we gonna keep it 100 on the show always. You know what I'm saying? She talked so much trash about wrestling in general. I don't see how. I mean, no, let me not say that because you always do what's best for business, right? I don't even see how she's a draw at this point, though. Like she's not Brock Lesnar. You know what I'm saying? Like she's not
a
like
draw because we hate her.
Man,
that's why.
I have no interest in the Ronda Rousey match, yo. I don't care who it's against. I don't care who it's against, yo. I have no interest in the Ronda Rousey match, man. Like she did her thing for her time. You know what I'm saying? Respect to her. She was a better wrestler than a lot of people gave her credit for. You know what I mean? So I mean, much respect to her. Her character, that's what killed me about Ronda Rousey, man, more than anything. And then, like, as much trash as you talked on your way out. Now, granted, now to her credit, it's not like she's asking to come back. WWE is I want to make that clear. WWE is interested in bringing her back. So I want to make that clear. She's not begging to come back or anything like that. But at the same time, like, nah, I think you should just stay where you at. I'm good.
Stay where you at.
I'm good. I'm good. Okay, the women's division is too great right now. It's A1, yo. From whatever brand you want to talk about, it's A1. They do not need her. You know what I'm saying? They do not need her. You know what I mean?
Her back. You're not going to bring her back to being Mick Carter.
Right.
So shot to
Right.
the too. So it's like, yeah, nah, I'm
So
good.
she taking somebody's spot if she come back
Yeah, I'm
without
straight.
without question. And they ain't like, I'm trying not to throw shade on her name, but I don't see anything else major going on that she would need to take like a part-time schedule. So she's gonna be there a lot. You know what I mean? So yeah, Chili, what's your thoughts, man?
Yeah, there's no need for her there, man. I mean, we go on to the next topic, brother.
Yeah, it's no need, man.
There's plenty of women on that roster that one rap or wrestle wrestle laps around Ronda, and then two, there's plenty of stories there that are quality that they can make, that they don't have to go and pull her into this just for some dream match that nobody wants.
Right. And then because nobody wants to, I'm not tuning in to Ronda versus Becky. I don't want to see that. But there is a match I would tune into though. And this is how we gonna transition to our last topic about a woman on the podcast. So I don't know if y'all saw y'all peeped Monday Night Raw last night. I don't know if y'all been on social media today, but there was something interesting in regards to a promo that was cut last night. So last night after Paul Heyman, first of all right, real quick before I even say that,
Cooking with listen,
man, that promo,
he is a master. I put in the group chat. He is a master of his craft. Like that.
yeah, that promo was.
Promo.
And shout out to Jay because Jay held his own, and Jay ain't. It was perfect because Jay ain't need to cut no long promo. Like get straight to the point. You know what I'm saying? But do it in like a real aggressive way, man. He did. So shout out to Jay too. But Paul, man, that promo was crazy, man. And even the match that match Seth and Jay put on.
Hey man, Monday Night Raw. Yeah, listen. The first thing we did hit the group chat was, damn, I was trying to go to sleep early tonight.
Yeah,
Why was y'all doing that, man?
That match was fire. That match was fire, man. You knew it was gonna end in some shenanigans, but it was fire. It was fire match, man. Great way to cap it off. But All right, so the promo I'm talking about is immediately after that promo when they came back from commercial. Paul Heyman goes into the locker room with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. While Seth is talking, I don't know if y'all saw this, but there's something written in like a kind of like black light font, like you would have to have a black light to almost see it. But there was a phrase right behind him written on the wall, and it said "Light it up." Now, if for the audience, if the words "light it up" don't mean anything to you, it was a big part of someone's entrance that's no longer in WWE that everybody is clamoring to come back. That person is AJ Lee. Light it up phrase was a big part of her entrance. And based on like, right now, like we kind of like in the Marvel phase of WWE where Triple H be kind of like giving us like certain clues and giving us Easter eggs and stuff like that. And so we try to put that together. And there's speculation that sometime this year, we very well could see a match between Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins versus AJ Lee and CM Punk. Quick take on a scale of 1 to 10, how interested would y'all be in that?
I mean, it makes sense. It's gonna get them some money.
A lot of money.
I think I called this when he first came back that this match was gonna happen.
Yeah, you did.
I mistimed it a little bit, so it's gonna happen, I believe. For like but hopefully it's like a one-off or something like that. Like it's just a one-time deal. AJ doesn't have to come back, or maybe, or
No, go
maybe
ahead.
like it leads to if the maybe Becky versus AJ one-on-one, and then they do a tag match, and that could be it. No need to do a AJ to come back full time.
Why do you say, before I comment, I want to know why you say no need for AJ to come back full time?
Because like you see, the women division is stacked, right? So
Yeah.
AJ coming back now, somebody's got to get dropped down. Because again, somebody like AJ is not coming back to be a mid Carter.
Here's where you're right. First of all, you're 100% right. Here's where I wouldn't have a problem with it, right? If we think about AJ when she left, to Willie's question earlier, Willie's question was, have we seen a woman beat us over in a company in the entire industry? AJ could have been included in that number that I ran earlier. The only reason why she wasn't was because when peak AJ got over, she was on her way out. You know what I'm saying? She cut that legendary promo where she cooked every woman that was in that ring. I think it was like 6 women in that ring. She came to the entrance and cooked every last one of them. And then she wasn't with the company no more than a month later. I think people forget. Everybody remembers how popular she is and how popular she is now.
She was.
I think people forget how good she was, man. I really do. Like when we talk about best female in-ring wrestlers of all time, because of how great, and this is not a knock. This is how great her character was at the time, like and how invested people was in the character. I think people remember AJ Lee the character. I don't think a lot of people remember the wrestler, and I don't think a lot of people remember how good she was. And I would love for her to come back full time, not for a long period of time. It could be like a year or two, but I would love for her to come back full time and get that run that she's never had. She had and when I say run, don't get me wrong, she was champion and everything like that. But she never got a chance to have that legendary run because once again, by the time she got fully over to the point of where Becky and all of them is at now, she was on her way out. So I would love for her career to get that run, have a string of just great matches, man, and we could remember her not just for her character, but her in-ring wrestling as well. That's just me. Yeah, I'm not saying you wrong. You 100% right in everything you're saying. Somebody would have to get knocked down. I would just love for AJ. She don't need it. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's something she's clamoring for, but just as a fan of hers, it's something I would love to just see happen. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm at with it. You know what I mean? Willie, did you have any other thoughts on it?
Nah, you hit it right on the head, man. I mean, again, like as you said, she was on the way out when she was really hitting her prime, her run. Again, it's kind of the only downside of the con, I guess, is like, man, these people ain't been wrestling forever.
Yeah,
Who's to say that shine is still going to shine the way it used to?
that's true. That's true.
You know,
That's very well true.
I guess
Yeah,
that's my other side of it. You know, I would love to see her be what she was and her be able to transition to a new kind of arena, so to speak, in what wrestling is now compared to what it was when she was there. And, you know, you assume that she'll just get back on the bike like it's nothing, but we'll see. We'll see.
yeah. Yeah, man. All right, and one more thing before we get to the main event of the night. Judgment Day. In regards to me and Ashley, one of my students was talking about this earlier. Like, they have been slowly cooking this story. Like, we know, like, we don't know. All right, so we don't know exactly what's about to happen. We know one way or another, Finn is not going to be in the Judgment Day at some point. We don't know whether they're going. My prediction, well, kind of what I hope happens. I hope they kick him out, and I hope Dom becomes the new leader, and I hope I hope Finn returns to being a face, because I think Finn, the one time he was a prominent face, he got injured the night after he won the belt. I think he deserves, if you're gonna make a major push for Finn, it should be with him as a face and not as a heel, in my opinion. But we don't know if that's gonna happen, or we don't know if Finn's gonna do a double heel turn the same way Dom did. I don't know if y'all saw this in the background, but when Jay was coming out backstage, if you look in the background, Finn was off to the side talking to Roxanne Perez. So that's interesting too. So my question for y'all though is, do y'all think this story is going on too long? You think they are slowly cooking this too much? Do you think something needs to happen like soon? Or are y'all with to continue to slow cook and let's wait until the story reaches its peak? Where y'all at with it?
I like you can slow cook. Everything doesn't got to be a instant gratification or just a quick hit storyline. Sometimes you can let stuff cook, man. Like let it cook, let them cook, let it burn. Because this way now you could intermingle storylines. It doesn't have to be Judgment Day. You could weave people in and out, which is what they're doing. So I'm all for it. I have no issue with it.
Where you at, Willie?
I'm with Shaq on it again. There was a time during Roman's 1,000, who gives a fuck, however many days run he had, where
1,314, but
there you go,
continue.
there
That
you
is
go.
true. That number is
Uh,
true.
carry the one, but when he was fighting people like in the early half of it, like KO and whatever, around like day 500, and we were about ready to be done with that crap problem. Brother, here we go. Again, and look where it ended up leading us. And again,
Yeah.
I say the same thing with reflecting on the start of the Judgment Day, where they started to where they are now, and all the twists and turns. So again, like, just let this whole thing play out. Again, you see it, it's coming towards the end based on who the original members were, and basically they're all gone other than Finn. Finn's the last person from the original crew.
Yeah.
We'll see where it goes, but let them continue to do what they're doing. They still have a lot of story to milk with Dom there, Liv there, Finn there, JD returning. So
I think so. Y'all are right. I agree with y'all. Here's the thing though, and as the chefs that both of y'all are, for y'all that don't know, like these two, they can really throw down in the kitchen. The chefs that y'all appreciate this analogy I'm about to say. You can let something slow cook, right? But the quality still has to be top notch at the finished product. It's the worst thing ever is you slow cook something in the crock pot. You think you got a banger, and then you taste the food and it's like, dang, I ain't seasoned this enough, or dang, I should have did this or whatever, right? Especially like it's not something that's a quick fix. You could just make a quick fix real quick. When you slow cook something, whether it's in the Instant Pot, crock pot, whatever, it don't come out the way you want it. It's like, all right, I guess a week or a month later when I do this again, I know what to do now. You know what I mean? Like that can't happen. You can slow cook this story, that's fine. But when it lands, it gotta land. You know what I mean? Like it gotta, especially for this story, because this story is so pivotal to what's gonna happen with Dom next and the credibility to his whole reign as Intercontinental Champion is going to be so pivotal to what happens with Finn in regards to, what I'm saying, his push. It's going to be pivotal to what happens with JD and Carlito. You know what I'm saying? What's going to happen with them? What happens with Raquel? Does Liv Morgan still have a top spot when she comes back from doing her movie run? This story, what happens with them is going to be so pivotal. I tell you this much though, I would even be cool with if Finn turns face, I would even be cool with the Judgment Day reunion between Finn, Dame, and Rhea. You know what I'm saying? As good as faces this time though. You know what I'm saying? I would even be cool with that. So we'll see, man. But I do agree. There's nothing wrong with slow cooking the story. But if you're gonna slow cook it, it gotta land. It landed with the whole Seth Rollins thing. It landed with the bloodline. This gotta land too. You know what I mean? Because it's so pivotal to where we're gonna go next with this stories, man. So yeah, so all right. Last thing we're gonna do, we're gonna make our backlash predictions. But here's the thing. We might have to go with what you was talking about earlier, Shaq, because I was thinking about this the whole time we was recording. I'm almost 100% sure that we're gonna pick the same pick for all 5 of these matches. Cause all right, it's almost like Willie for y'all still getting to know us, right? So Willie is like almost like the king of like spoilers in regards to the friend group. Like Willie don't care about spoilers. Like he still, but the reason
Willie is an asshole. Vince got
I
his
don't know about
plan.
all this. I mean, we don't.
see,
Willie,
I
my
won't gonna
brother
say all
Chili
that.
Esquire will come into the group
I
and
won't
say,
gonna say that.
he'll say this verbatim. Y'all motherfuckers got till Thursday to watch this movie, or I'm gonna come in here and spoil it.
Things I don't.
He'll
Yeah,
say
I'm
it
about to
just
say,
like that.
things I have matured, grown up.
He'll say it just like that. And guess what? He'll
Oh my
come
god.
Thursday at noon. He
He
gonna
don't
come in here and talk about the movie.
he don't
The
do that
days of
no more,
Game of
man.
Thrones are long gone, man. The days of Game
Yeah,
of Thrones are
he
long
that's
gone, man.
he I give you credit. Willie, he ain't done that in years, man.
Thank you,
But
man.
to my point, to my point though, the reason why Willie don't care about spoilers is because he's still gonna tune in. Why? Because he wants to see how it happens. I'm like that a lot too. You know what I'm saying? The only movie I didn't want, like the only thing I didn't want spoiled recently was Sinners. But with most stuff, I don't mind like seeing clips, so I don't mind reading the plot or whatever. Cause I still want to see for myself how it's going to transpire, and I think that's where we are with this backlash card. Like I think we can go down, and we are in the second. But I think we're gonna go down the list, and I think we all gonna have the same picks. How it's gonna happen is what we're gonna look to tune in to see what's gonna happen and go on. So first match that I'm curious to see how they're gonna do this is the Women's Intercontinental Championship, Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch. Who are y'all picking? This is the
Lyra.
only match where I think we might not. Oh, okay, go ahead.
I didn't hear what Willie said. He
He
kind of
said
broke up.
he said Lyra. That's actually my pick too. I didn't think we was gonna pick the same thing. I thought this was gonna be the only one.
They don't need it. They don't need it. If they
Yeah, they go ahead. I think they're one that they don't need. Becky doesn't need that belt
going
per
back to my
se, and I
vent,
think
bro.
go ahead, brother. I'm
Going
picking
back to
Lyra
my
too.
vent from the last joint, like,
Go ahead, sir. Go
bro,
ahead.
like
Go ahead. Then
such
go.
low hanging fruit move to go and pick that damn belt on Becky Lynch. You validate what I was saying last time, not last episode. We're here last episode before that about you got fucking Lyra Valkyria out here looking wild with this shitty ass gimmick because y'all ain't figuring nothing out for her. You had her out here as fucking bird person at WrestleMania, just waving her fucking arms, looking like a fucking fool. Like again, you about to give her this damn take this belt off her just because Becky Lynch is the bigger name. Instead of letting them pin on a quality match and Lyra winning that and that pitting her over. Again, like if this doesn't go with Lyra getting put over, like there's an issue. There is a big issue. There's a big issue with their women's mid card when it comes to the fuck they're doing with that Intercontinental title. And if they can figure it out with the US women's title, well, they've basically given it to fucking Zelina now, which is totally fine. You know what I mean? But they have failed royally with the IC, and their break glass in case of emergency is calling Becky Lynch for her to hold the mid card to go up against who? I eventually she'll probably get it. I wouldn't be surprised if she ends up joining Seth and Braun. But I mean, it's such low hanging fruit. I'm just not a fan of this. So I'm
I'm
going
not a
Lyra.
fan. I'm not a fan. All right, so I was gonna pick Lyra just in the interest of spicing this out. I'm gonna pick Becky, so we won't all have the same pick. But I do think I will say this, even though I'm going with Becky, what I was gonna say, my original prediction, I think Bayley was gonna interfere in the match. I didn't think Lyra was gonna win clean. I thought Bayley was gonna come back and interfere, which I do think still gonna happen. But just in the interest, is kind of spicing this out. I'm gonna go with Becky because I also can see a scenario where they do take the belt off of Lyra and kind of in the effort to make this prestigious, have that Bayley versus Becky feud be for the Intercontinental title. I can see a world where that happens. Do I like that? No, because I think you bury Lyra. And Lyra loses this match, I think she done for a while. I think she cooked.
She's done, bro.
Might as well send.
Go ahead and
You might as well
package her,
send her
make her
back.
a heel.
Yeah, or send her back to NXT, man, or send her back to NXT for a little bit. Because if she loses, I think she's done. I don't see a world where she recovers. But so I'm hoping Lyra wins. But in the interest of spicing this out, I'm gonna go with Becky. All right, cool. So next, we all got Gunther, right?
By murder.
What? Now
Gunther's
I can think about to win this thing. Y'all crazy. Man. Gunther.
Gunther for sure. Gunther's gonna chop that man back to being a punter with the Indianapolis Colts, man. It's gonna, all right, Dom versus Pencil. Who we going with?
Dom.
Yeah, Dom cheats to win for sure. We just don't know how he gonna cheat to win, but he's gonna cheat to win. Oh, all right, nah, I'm about to say they ain't announced this match, but no. Okay, all right, cool. The fatal four-way for the U.S. title: Jacob Fatu versus Drew versus LA Knight versus Damian Priest. Who we going with?
2.
Ooh. All gas.
Best match of the night.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that for certain. I agree with that for certain. And then last but not least, John Cena versus Randy Orton. Who wins? Who wins? We all going with it. You can't see me.
Randy, your time is up. My time is now.
Nah,
you
but
can't see me. My time is now.
But let me ask y'all this real quick. I agree with y'all. John Cena's win. That's why I picked Becky for the other match, just to spice so we won't have all the same picks. Because I do think John Cena's winning this match for sure. I do not see a scenario where he loses this match. But just throwing this out there, what if they shock the world and Randy Orton actually wins this match?
I would like to see that, and then they do some like shenanigans where they add another 10 minutes and run it back, and then he loses it right back.
Yeah, that would be fire.
I would like that. That would give the crowds a quick yeah, and then
But The
take
Rock,
that fucking joy right away from them.
The Rock would have to come back for that though.
I'd be fine with that. I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, I like that. That should be dope. But yeah, and the chance they shock the world, that'd be crazy. You know what I'm saying? Give us something that we didn't expect. But Cena's winning this match. All right, cool. All right, Shaq, you got the either or this or that.
Yes, sir. To all my people that still watch wrestling, welcome to the closing segment of the show. Either or, this or that. We are all wrestling fans. This is where I come up with a question, a scenario, fantasy booking, something wrestling related, and I have the fellas give their opinion or their answers. I'm gonna take a page out of Dent's playbook where I just give a couple scenarios and you pick which one you felt was a better event, and we're gonna see which one is the last event standing. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna name things that have happened on either Raw or Nitro, and I want you to tell me what was the better segment or what was the better event. All right. So to start us off, we got DX invades Raw and DX invades WCW, or Scott Hall walking on the Nitro for the first time.
Scott Hall walking on the Nitro. That's what I'm going with. Yeah,
All
I mean the DS joint was cool, especially because it was in our backyard in the 757.
right around the corner from Norfolk State.
Literally right around the corner from Norfolk State. So it was cool. I remember vividly seeing Scott Hall, like, cause he was on WWE programming like maybe like a week or two before. Yeah, he ain't supposed to. I remember being a kid, like, what's right? What's going on? Yeah, definitely Scott Hall walking on that Nitro
So we
stage.
got Scott Hall. All right.
Yeah,
Well, Scott Hall, appearing on Nitro for the first time, or Goldberg beating Hogan for the WCW title.
Goldberg beating Hogan for sure. Yeah.
We have both got Goldberg. All right. We have Goldberg winning the title, or Y2J debuting on Raw, interrupting The Rock.
Hey, I agree with Willie. I'm gonna go Y2J. Yeah.
Y2J's debut, or Sting descending from the rafters for the first time.
Sting, without question, without question. Yeah.
All right. So we got Sting coming from the rafters, And then we got Rikishi admitted he's the one that ran over Stone Cold.
Sting.
All right. We got Sting coming from the rafters for the first time versus The Undertaker crucifying Stone Cold.
Yeah, and you talk about Taker putting Stephanie on that cross. Yeah, it's Taker for sure. Taker, yeah. Cause the last person you expect to come out there was Stone Cold. So yeah, definitely.
Right? So we got Taker crucifying Steph versus this one's good. Okay. It's Taker crucifying Steph versus DDP saving Sting and airlifting him up to the helicopter.
Taker.
Do you realize that that man did put another man to the same J rig and flew off in a helicopter?
Yeah, nah, it won't
Y'all,
more remember. It won't more.
y'all are very biased, dog.
Nah, that
That helicopter moment was one of the dopest shits I've ever seen to this day in wrestling.
how many times has it been relived?
How many times have it been done since?
I don't see them replaying that. I mean,
All, all the time.
I maybe see a clip about that once every 5 years. You see that Taker segment once at least twice a year, dog.
I don't see
Like
that no more. It was so controversial. Y'all, but I don't know. I
dog,
don't want that.
that Taker segment was crazy, bro. Crazy. And once again, like the last person you expected to come out there was Stone Cold. That whole segment was dope, dog. Nah, yeah, I'm going. Yeah. And then it led to Stone Cold being crucified a week later. Yeah, dog. Taker. Taker. For sure.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So they both went with Taker. All right. So we're going to go Taker, crucifying Steph, Stone Cold versus, and attack Mr. McMahon in the hospital.
Stone Cold in the hospital. I'll take it from here, nurse. Nah, yeah, Stone Cold in the hospital for sure. Yeah. Any Stone Cold backstage or grocery store segment, that's gonna be tough to beat.
The last one, the last,
Yes, it's gonna be
the
tough.
last one,
Yeah,
the last one's a Stone Cold segment as well, but it was kind of the one that kind of put Monday Night Raw on the map. That I think one of the ones though, this shit is crazy. So y'all got the last two is gonna be Stone Cold versus Stone Cold attacking Miss McMahon in the hospital versus Stone Cold breaking into Brian Pillman's house
Stone
and
Cold in the
Pillman
hospital.
pulling out the strap.
I remember that.
It's like, because if Austin 316 breaks in here, I'm gonna introduce him to my friend Smith and Wesson. This was Glock 47, Smith and Wesson. That's he's been
That
pulling
was
out guns on TV.
that was crazy. But I'm still going with Stone Cold in the hospital, dog. I'm still going. Now, as you said, Stone Cold and Booker T in the grocery store. That would have won easily. But I'll go with Stone Cold. I mean, the humor of it, dog. That's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite.
He went for humor. I was going for shocking. And then
Yeah,
when you pull out the gun, Austin finally walk in and the TV, and all you get was static. You just hear everybody screaming.
I, I
Just
would.
kiss TV.
Nah, it was dope. It was dope.
Just kiss
It was
TV.
a. It was dope, but yeah, I watched that Stone Cold clip of him in the hospital. That I watched 3 clips every year. That and all of them feature Stone Cold. That with him in the hospital, the joint with him and the Rock on the bridge, with the Rock with the Rock's like, well, the Rock smells trash. The Rock smells trash. That and the grocery store joint with not only the grocery store Booker T, but where he the church and Stone Cold chasing around the church. Those Booker T segments are classic. So yeah. I'm sticking with Stone Cold in the hospital.
Cold in the hospital wins then. All right.
Which one did you say, Willie? Same one? Okay. Yeah. Stone Cold in the hospital. Dog.
I'm going Stone Cold.
That's hilarious. I'll take it from here, nurse. I'm about to watch that right now. Matter of fact, as soon as we talking, as soon as we start recording. Oh man, but to all my people that still watch wrestling, man, thank y'all for tuning in and locking in with us, man. You catch us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, man. We got some special stuff coming up soon, man. Especially some stuff with VCW. So shout out to them, man. They put on an amazing event this past weekend. So shout out to VCW. We're gonna try to catch their next show coming up soon, man. But in the meantime, man, thank y'all for locking in with us once again. Continue to like and subscribe to the content for sure. Talk to us, engage with us, man, as we love to talk this wrestling thing. But in the meantime, y'all stay blessed, man. Have an amazing week, and until next week, man, we out.
Peace out.